لو عملت كليك عليها او دخلتها يعني على الويب سايت، هي طبعا مش اونلاين فمش هينفع تعمل كليك على الورقه، لكن لو دخلت على الويب سايت هتلاقي تعمل الويب ادرس دوت وتبص على كل الشغلانات اللي متاحه حاليا النهارده as of today موجوده. اوكي.
And also just a quick note on untraditional sources. So you can, there are Facebook job boards out there. LinkedIn networking is good. Just posting on your LinkedIn network, I'm looking for a job, or responding to a job with a comment. Sometimes that makes you stand out to a recruiter who's on LinkedIn and say, hey, I'd be really interested in talking.
LinkedIn is mentioned here?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. في فيسبوك وفي لينكدين، ده ويب سايت مخصوص للناس اللي بتدور على شغل. هو ممكن يبقى للتعارف يعني اكتر، في فرص ناس بتعرف بعض من خلال الويب سايت دوت. فانت لو حطيت الريزومي بتاعك على الويب سايت دوت الناس بتقدر تاخد فكره عنك انت مين وبتعمل ايه وبتدور على شغل ايه. فتبقى الدنيا النهارده مور الكترونيك عن ان انت بتروح بالورقه والقلم. فكل ما دخلت على السوفت ويرز دي وعلى الويب سايتس دي هيدي لك فرصه اكبر ويفتح المجالات قدامك لشغل اكتر.
And then Indeed.com in particular, some of the websites like Monster are better for posting your resume, but Indeed is really great because it pulls all of the job postings from all of the websites like Monster and Career Builder onto one site, and you can search it by keyword and it pulls everything all together.
لو اخدتوا بالكم هم ذكروا دلوقتي اكتر من ويب سايت اكتر من مره، واحد اسمه مونستر واحد اسمه كارير بيلدر. الاثنين دول من اكبر الويب سايتس اللي بتعمل فرص شغل.
وانديد
وطبعا دوت الاندي دوت هو دبليو ان دي
Indeed.
الاندي بيعمل اقوى من الاثنين دول لانه بيجمع من كل الويب سايتس اللي هي فيها الاثنين دول وبيعرض الحاجات اللي موجوده. فده بيدي يعني huge opportunity للشغل.
The neat thing about Indeed also, you can search for a job title or a keyword. So for example, accountant or warehouse. And you can set it up where it notifies you every day of any new job that posts with that title. Monster does that too.
That's very nice. الويب سايت دوت ممكن تعمل عليه سيتنج ان انت تختار الشغلانه اللي انت بتدور عليها. لو انت بتدور على اكاونتنج مثلا بتحط كلمه اكاونتنت. اي مره يطلع شغل في الماركت كله اللي هو فيه كل الويب سايتس دي عن الاكاونتنج بيجي لك نوت. النوت دي ممكن تبقى بالايميل او بتكست او بمسج او وات ايفر، بتقول لك انه في شغلانه طلعت للحته اللي انت بتدور عليها دي. لو حد بيدور على وير هاوس يحط كلمه وير هاوس هيطلع له كل الشغلانات ويعمل سيتنج ان كل ما يطلع شغلانه ابعت لي قول لي الشغلانه دي ايه وفين وامتى. فيجي لك زي جوب اليرت ينبهك انت القصه دي ايه وفين. Okay.
And then a quick final note on LinkedIn, you can join groups like job search groups or like specialized groups for accounting that are good for recruiters pushing their jobs specifically to those groups. And you can also follow companies on LinkedIn so things are being pushed to your feed that are specific to what you're looking for.
Any profession, any skill, there's a group for most things.
مهم قوي لو انت دخلت على الويب سايتس دي ان انت بتلاقي فيه جروب عن الاكاونتنج، جروب عن وير هاوسنج، جروب عن اكاونتس بايبل، جروبس فور وات ايفر شغلانه انت بتدور عليها. واشتركت في الجروب دوت كل مره هيحصل اي كوميونيكيشن او الريكروترز الناس اللي بتدور على الشغل هيبصوا على الناس اللي هم في الجروب ده وهم دول اللي هيبتدوا يتواصلوا معاهم او يبعتوا لهم او يقولوا لهم عايزينكم. فاشترك في الجروب اللي انت بتدور عليه في نوع الشغل اللي انت بتدور عليه.
Okay, so then for what we'd like to help with going forward, we'd like to offer anyone here an interview. We can't guarantee where it will go necessarily, but we definitely want to be helpful and also provide feedback after that interview as well. And then during that time we can provide resume feedback if you'd like someone else to take a look at your resume.
Absolutely, thank you. عندهم الخطوة الجاية اللي هم مستعدين هم يساعدونا بيها ان هم بيرحبوا باي حد ان هو يروح لهم يقدم الريزوميه بتاعه ويعمل انترفيو، ولو عايز ياخد فيدباك عن الريزوميه بتاعه، ايه اللي محتاج يتغير، ايه اللي محتاج يتصلح، ايه اللي محتاج يتعدل فيه. هم مستعدين ان هم يكونوا بيقدموا الخدمه ديت، ولو في اي فرصه هم هيقدروا ان هم يساعدوا فيها بالنسبه للتعيينات في اي وظيفه من الوظائف اللي هي متاحه حاليا، هيكونوا بيعملوا كده، وطبعا ده بدون اي مقابل. اوكي.
And that's all we have, so we're ready for Q&A.
Excellent. Very good. Thank you very much.
Absolutely.
تفضلي. Okay.
Okay, I have 3 questions.
Okay.
The first one is...
That's all what we have for tonight.
The first one is about the resume. When you try to write in your skills, it has to be related with the job what you're applying for, or it has to be your general skills. Like, that's the first one. The second one is...
She forgot.
Okay, third one.
So should we answer that
No,
one first?
no, it's an interview.
Okay.
Yeah,
Okay, cool.
okay. In the interview, what you have to ask about and what you don't have to ask about. Like, I have to ask about how much I have to, your salary, or you don't have to ask about that.
Is that polite or
Yeah.
polite?
And the third one, if I have a small business, you can like market this business or just like employ.
Okay. So do you want to take number 1?
Sure. Okay. So, as for the skills on your resume, I would say that generally start with just kind of like your broad, bigger list, because I mean you're going to be going ahead and changing it every time that you apply to a job. So if you kind of have your running list, it's a little bit easier to subtract every time than to always remember, oh yeah, also that and that. So I would say, you know, keep kind of like your master copy of your resume that you edit from that has pretty much everything. When you say like general skills though, definitely try to keep them as concrete as possible. So like the name of this software, or sometimes, you know, if you are going to be applying for jobs where typing speed is important, then types however many words per minute. But some of the ones where it's more like good communication skills or, you know, those, that kind of thing you can put on there, but try to limit them and go with the more concrete ones. I mean, also if there's something that's very particular to a skill set, like if you're an accountant and you deal with general ledgers a lot, then put that there. But yeah, did that answer the question? I'm sorry?
So it should be related to the position you are applying for.
Right, because you should just change it every time, but just, keep a master list and then just kind of add things or subtract things or move them around.
So your resume for this position, it shouldn't be the same resume for you in a different position.
Yeah, not exactly the same. I mean, if you're going to be applying to a lot of jobs that are really similar, then you're going to have pretty similar resumes, but like if you know 3 different kinds of accounting software and this one company wants the second one, then you put that at the top of your skill list, and then the other 2, it's like also this and this, but mostly this one. So.
السؤال الأولاني كان تسأل على لو أنا عندي بقدم في الريزومي بتاعي في جهات مختلفة، السكيلز اللي أنا بحطها أحط يبقى حاجات هي ثابتة بحطها في كل الريزوميات بتاعتي، ولا أختار ونقي السكيلز بتاعتي حسب الشغلانة اللي أنا بقدم فيها. فكان الرد بتاعها إنه خلي دايما عندك زي حاجة ثابتة للسكيلز اللي أنت عندك، وخليه ده يبقى اسمه الماستر ريزومي، وخليه يبقى جاهز عندك، وخد منه كل ما تيجي تقدم شغلانه اقعد ظبط فيه وقيف فيه وشيل حته منه وزود حته فيه على حسب الشغلانه اللي انت بتقدم فيها. يعني لو الشغلانه بتطلب ان انت تكون بتشتغل على SAP مثلا في الاكاونتنج، وانت عندك SAP وعندك كويك بوكس وعندك اكسل وعندك مش عارف XYZ، كل دول بتحطهم في سطر واحد. لما تيجي تقدم في الشغلانه اللي هي عايزه SAP، خد SAP لوحدها طلعها في سطر لوحده وحطها في الاول خالص فالناس تبص عليها، هو ده اللي احنا عايزينه. اوكي، بالرغم ان انت عندك سكيلز في كل حاجه التانية بس مش مهمه للشركه دي. واضح الفكره؟ فخلي دايما عندك ماستر هو ده اللي جاهز فيه كل الحاجات بتاعتك، وخده ظبط منه واعمل ريزوميه للشغلانه اللي انت بتقدم عليها. اوكي.
And to add to that, you should read the job description thoroughly that you're applying for, and then make sure your resume does match that. You don't want to put anything on your resume that's not accurate, but you might read the description and say, oh, I have that experience, I do that. But if I don't see it on your resume, I don't know that.
Like writing with the same language they are speaking, so that they
Right.
can understand.
Yeah, I mean, obviously stop short of like just copying and pasting stuff directly from the job description,
Right.
but everything kind of like up to that line.
حاجه بتضيفها، نقطه بتضيفها على الموضوع الاولاني او السؤال الاولاني، انه وانت بتكتب الريزوميه بتاعك حاول ان هو يبقى في حاجات من الشغل بتاع الجوب ديسكريبشن. يعني اقرا الجوب ديسكريبشن كويس. في ناس بتقدم بتلاقي التايتل بس عايزين وير هاوس سوبرفايزر، فاقوم واخد وير هاوس سوبرفايزر واقوم رايح مقدم على طول. اقرا الجوب ديسكريبشن، اقرا الديتيلز، اقرا الكلام اللي مكتوب بالتفصيل، لان دوت هيساعدك ان انت تعرف ازاي تعمل الريزوميه بتاعك بطريقه صح علشان يبقى فيه اجزاء. وطبعا هي بتقول مش معناه ان انت تالف يعني تكتب اي كلام، لكن اكتب حاجات انت عملتها فعلا بس تكون مطابقه للكلام اللي هم مطلوب في الشغلانه اللي انت بتقدم فيها.
What was question number 2?
And the interview, what you have to ask about and
Yes.
what you
What's right and what's wrong.
yeah.
Good question. So I would let the manager ask you the questions first, respond to their questions. At the end, if they ask you for any additional questions, I stay away from the pay question on the first interview. And if they specifically ask you what you're looking to make, then answer.
What you gonna answer? You're gonna have a big number or a small number? It's sometimes
Well-
kind of, you know, it's hard to tell.
It is, but you also need to answer a realistic number that you would accept. So if you say $30,000, but really you want 50, then you won't be happy if they offer you $30,000. So you do need to give them a realistic answer, and it's okay to qualify it. In my last position, I was making this. I would be comfortable with something in that range, or I would like to hear what you have to offer.
If I may
Of course,
add
please.
to that, sometimes it's better not to answer this question. If you are like dying to get the job, so it doesn't matter
Right.
if they offer you 30 or 40 or 50.
Right.
So you need the job,
Right.
right? So
Right.
if you need the job, whatever they offer you, you will take it, right?
Yes.
Say I'm open, whatever.
open.
Exactly. So I just say something like that. I'm open for anything.
I do believe it depends on your skills and your experience. If you have a good experience on this job, you can talk with a strong hand. We can ask how much you will pay to me. Because in this time, they will know that you have a good experience and they need your experience.
Yes,
So they
agreed.
will pay you. This is what I'm doing.
I agree. I think it's case by case.
Yeah.
It depends on your situation and your case.
Exactly.
السؤال كان بيقول انه ايه الاسئله اللي ممكن اسالها في الانترفيو وايه الاسئله اللي ما ينفعش اسالها في الانترفيو. فالاسئله هي اجابه بتاعتها انه حاول ان انت في الاول ما تسالش انت اسئله، خلي اللي بيعمل لك انترفيو هو اللي يسال الاسئله وانت جاوب. وبعد ما تخلص خالص لو هو سالك قال لك عندك اسئله او عندك حاجه تحب تسالها، ساعتها قول انا عندي اسئله او اسال الاسئله اللي انت عايز تسالها. وكان السؤال على الفلوس، هل اتكلم على الفلوس ولا ما اتكلمش على الفلوس؟ فمن الحديث اللي دار هي كل حالة مختلفة عن التانية، ما ينفعش الإجابة فيها تبقى رد واحد، قول أو لا ما تقولش أو قول كام. كيس باي كيس، يعني زي ما كنت بقول من شوية، لو أنا واحد مش لاقي شغل بقالي فترة ومحتاج الشغل جدا ومستعد اشتغل باي حاجه، مش هقول لهم اي حاجه. I'm ready. I'm willing to get the job. I'm dying. Okay? So just give me the job. That's all what I need. Yeah. انا مش ماشي غير لما اخد شغلانه. فيعني فلو هي كده مش هتشرب. في المقابل لو واحد عنده experience 20 سنه في oil and gas company وهو الوحيد اللي في امريكا بيعرف الشغلانه دي، يعني في العالم، يعني هقول انا عايز $100,000، مش عايز اقل من كده. اوكي؟ لو محتاجين اقل من كده انا مش هقدر اخد الشغلانه. ساعتها اوكي هم فعلا ممكن يبصوا لك انا محتاج لك ومحتاج الشغلانه بتاعتك ومحتاج الكواليفيكيشنز بتاعتك، انا بدفع لك اللي انت عايزه. فالموضوع بيفرق من واحد للتاني. في حد ممكن ياخد، في حد ممكن ما ياخدش خالص. اوكي؟
وهي كمان قالت يعني انا كان لاست بوزيشن انا كنت باخد فيه كذا، فانا عايز حاجه
لو انا برضو يعني برضو ده مش شرط،
عشان تهرب
ده برضو مش شرط، لان انا ممكن اكون كنت باخد 50,000 والنهارده انا مستعد اخد 30، لان الماركت وحش ولان السوق وحش، فانا النهارده مستعد اقبل باي حاجه. فيعني it's case by case. كل حاله مختلفه عن الثانيه. اوكي؟
What was the third question? Sorry.
If she has a private business, can you market it?
Not really. It's more like an individual contractor basis. But if it's something, really that might line up, then we can talk maybe offline after.
Okay. Please.
I want to ask about the cover letter. You said that I need to put my key points that I've seen in the job description in my CV. Usually I don't put it in the CV, I just keep this for the cover letter. Is this enough? Or do I have to put also in my CV? Because I spend most of the time writing the cover letter every time, and the CV is just there. I'll send it by default. So
in some systems, in some computer, when you're emailing your resume in, your resume will match to the job based on keywords.
what about the cover letter? What is it for?
Cover letter does not always 100% make it into those systems.
So that you don't read them?
Some do, some don't.
Some do, some don't.
It's very much a case by case basis, but the thing is, it doesn't hurt to write one.
It's a nicety.
Exactly. You never know if you're going to get one of the managers who's just going to go, or someone who's going to read it with interest and go, oh yes, okay. So I see she has a summary in here of why she's good for this job. I can tell she's really interested. Great, I'm definitely going to give her a call. So since you don't know, I would say, do the best of both. I would
if you're doing it, but I would make sure the keywords are in your resume as well.
Yes. So definitely put a lot of effort in both. Get both of them, proofread by people. I'm really not kidding. I had so many people read my cover letters because I definitely wrote a cover letter for every single job I've ever applied for. And actually there are times when there was one time where I did have my manager specifically say that my cover letter helped.
Don't you think it's could be a double-edged sword somehow, some way? If I don't put it right, it might give a bad indication to the readers.
Yeah,
so
right.
that might.
Yes. Which is why I had 6 people read it. So that's why you just.
That's why the editing and proofing.
Yeah, you spend a lot of time proofing
I'm not
everything.
sure 100% that this cover letter is in a good shape, I'd rather not to.
Definitely.
Do you agree with me on that?
Yes.
Okay.
Good qualification. Yeah.
All right. So الكفر ليتر اللي بيتبعت مع الريزومي مهم، بس في شركات بتاخد بيه وفي شركات ما بتاخدش بيه. في شركات بتقراه في شركات ما بتقراهوش. ف كويس ان يبقى في كفر ليتر مع الريزومي، لكن مش شرط انه ينفع. والحاجه الاهم بالنسبه لنا احنا علشان احنا الانجليش سكند لانجويج انه ممكن نكتب كلام، لان الكفر ليتر ده حدوته يعني بتكتب كلام، فممكن نكتب كلام يبدو يعني عجيب للي بيقرا يقول لك ده هندي ولا انجليزي يعني. فيعني انا شخصيا يعني اخشى انه احنا نعمل حاجه زي كده، ممكن unless ان احنا اديناه لحد يعني وديناه لهم وهم they read it وابروفد ات وقالوا اوكي الكلام ده كويس قوي then ابعته. بس لو لا، لو انا اللي هكتبه من دماغي يعني افضل ما ابعتوش، اركز على الريزومي. ده رايي. Is it okay if they send you a cover letter so you can review it and approve it for them? Is that
Yes.
workable?
Definitely. Yes.
Excellent. Thanks.
Yes.
Okay, gaps in the resume. I mean, I'm talking about two kind of gaps. If someone's like lay off for a year, how you put this in the resume? Or if he did a job that is not related to what he's applying for, does he have to put it or not?
That is definitely a very good question. People handle that in various ways. Some people actually on their resume put why they left every single job, which sometimes is a little bit too much information. Natalie, as someone who looks at the resumes, what do you think?
I would say if you were laid off and there is a gap, then I would like to see that you do qualify that. So 2012, you end. Your next job is not until 2014. You can qualify it laid off beside your job title, or even as another bullet, laid off searching for employment.
That doesn't affect, the resume
I
search?
would like to know that you justified it versus, I'm comfortable with you speaking to it. I like to see that you're steadily employed as well. So for example, if you've been an accountant and you take a job as a retail associate for 2 years because you're not finding accounting work, I'd like to see that you're employed. So I'm comfortable with that job being there as well. But in your objective, you can put the type of job you're searching for. Now, make sure that that objective matches the job you're applying for. So if you say I'm searching for an accounting job and you're applying for human resources, then that doesn't work.
I stayed for 6 years not working, so I found another solution for this when you have a gap.
Okay.
I used to put I'm doing activities at church. I'm serving, I'm volunteering. I'm doing some translation. So
Yes.
I'm not staying at home doing nothing.
Yes.
So if you put you're doing things at church or volunteering or كده, this would be nice and would give a good impression that you're not just staying at home.
Yes.
This is what I did
Agreed.
when I stayed at home.
And I would rather to explain it face to face on
Yes.
the interview rather than put it on the paper. That might also give negative impact to the reader somehow. So, but when I'm there for the interview, I can explain
But if
why
he doesn't
I
call
got
you,
that.
This is the
Right.
reason.
Yeah, I mean,
Right. Call him first. You might not call him if he doesn't follow
Yes.
him.
Right.
That's not it.
السؤال كان بيقول على الفترة اللي لو في عندي فترة ما اشتغلتش فيها، لو أنا خلصت شغلانة في 2012 ولقيت شغلانة تانية في 2014، فالسنتين دول أعمل فيهم إيه في الريزومي بتاعي؟ أحطهم ولا ما أحطهمش؟ فالحلول إن أنت هي بتفضل إن أنت تحط إن أنت مش اترفدت، هي اسمها لاي أوف، مش عارف يعني إيه بالعربي.
اترفدت يعني اترفدت.
هي مش لازم تكون اترفدت يعني.
ريحوه.
اتطردت.
خدت اجازة. anyways فيعني
هنا مش شتيمة عندهم يعني.
فاللي هي بتقوله ان انت قول ان انت سبت الشغل الفترة دي، بس امل بتقول اقتراح حلو، بتقول ان انت حط ان انت بتخدم في كنيسة، ان انت كنت بتعمل فولنتير. سوري
ما ينفعش يكتب ان هو فولنتير او بيخدم وهو اوريدي مش كده.
لا طبعا اكيد يعني. absolutely. انا بتكلم ان انت okay. Clear? Any more questions? Same question? Okay.
Yeah, the difference of experience.
Okay.
Go ahead, someone. Okay. The resume arrangement. I know you go online and you see, tons of arrangements. Which one is an ideal one? Objective, education, then experience, then from your experience.
Right. For me personally, I prefer doing the objective first, and then I usually go then with kind of the list of skills, just because that takes up less space normally than the rest of the resume. So it's good to put up at the top, because that's also where people are going to, you know, skim a lot of the times first, and then I go through
Skills is computer skills?
I'm sorry.
Skills
Yeah.
is computer skills.
Frequently computer skills, but language skills would be there as well.
Typing.
Interpersonal
Yes.
skills.
And
Right.
education goes where?
With education,
Depends.
that depends largely on
What type
number
of
one,
education?
yeah, what type of education,
So-
the type of education required by the job, and then also how long ago it was that you obtained that piece of education. So, you know, if it's a college degree and you got it like 10 years ago, then usually I would put that after the description of your jobs. But maybe if it's a degree in one specific thing, like engineering, like if you have a master's or something in chemical engineering, I would put that near the top, because you're probably going to be applying to a job that specifically wants a master's. So that kind of like bounces up and down depending on you and on the jobs that you're going for.
Usually in our culture, we prefer the education to be kind of like
Before the name.
on the top, before the name, yeah. So that's kind of like cultural thing. So, but here I agree with you 100% that it's not important. So بالنسبة للتعليم أو التقسيمة بتاعت الريزومي، نبتدي ايه قبل ايه. فهي بتقول ان اهم حاجه تحط الاوبجكتيف في الاول، وبعد كده الخبره، وبعد كده السكيلز، وبعد كده في الاخر خالص الاديوكيشن. والاديوكيشن احنا برضو بنحترم قوي البكالوريوس والدكتوراه اللي احنا واخدينها، فبنبروزها، في حين ان احنا ممكن نكون بنقدم على شغلانات هنا بتاخد هاي سكول. يعني هاي سكول بالنسبه لهم يبقوا مبسوطين بيه قوي، وياخدوه يشتغل ويبقى زي الفل ويعمل الشغل زي الفل. فما تخلوش حته الاديوكيشن عندنا دي تبقى مشكله، يعني ما نبروزهاش، ممكن ما نحطهاش خالص.
ممكن لو حاسس ان انت اوفر كواليفايد ممكن
ولو قعدت زودت فيها قوي ممكن يقول لك ده راجل دكتوراه، يعني مش عايز شغلانه يبقى رئيس مجلس اداره، فمش مهم قوي.
اشهر الوظائف اللي ما بتحتاجش خبره، يعني ده بيبقى فيها كتير اللي مش محتاجين خبره، لا اقدر ابني فيها خبره. وافضل الوظائف اللي ممكن لو هدرس يعني
ايه الدراسه اللي تساعدني علشان مش كده؟ He's asking about do you have kind of some jobs that does not require a previous experience, so they need kind of like someone who doesn't have experience in this kind of job? Do you see that kind of jobs quite often? Yeah.
The entry level? Yeah.
Not college fresh, but just
Depends.
Most of our jobs do require some sort of experience. The entry-level positions that we have are office positions. So it could be a filing position or a data entry position. They still want someone though that has that skill. Computer skills. Right. So typing. So.
So you don't remember to like you got like 5 jobs or 6 jobs that they don't ask for 3 years experience or 5 years experience?
Some we do. We see clerk positions, clerical positions that may look for 6 months of. We see office services positions where it's a combination of